Is everybody on? Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? It's been a while, so I have to make sure that everything's still working properly. Give us a moment. We're still trying to get Mustafa hooked in. Um, it's been a while, so hey, just make sure you on. If you haven't hit the share button, hit the share button. Make sure you say hello. Make sure you let people know where you're watching from. Um, no, I mean, I'm here. I'm just trying to make sure we can get the stream going. Mustafa is still like trying to. I guess he's trying to remember how to work this. Don't tell him I said that when he gets on, cause I got you. I got you, Mustafa. I got you. I got you. Here we go. Hold on. Let's see. There you go. All right. So if you're watching, hey, Shabazz, come on, man. Don't be putting it out there like that. It's Sunday morning. Listen. Sunday mornings, I'm normally in church. We normally have in church, but how we're set up, Fifth Sundays is what we refer to as Union Sunday. So we don't have necessarily in-person services on Fifth Sundays. It's a rarity that you have a Fifth Sunday. So this is Fifth Sunday. So it's a rarity that we have Fifth Sundays, and then we normally don't have service on Fifth Sundays. So that's where we are. That's why there's no actual church service. That's why we're doing the broadcast. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. Say hello. Say thank you. Say hello. Say if you support the vaccine and don't think people should get the vaccine, put that in your comments. We're going to bring some people in today, too. If we can ever get Mustafa in, he got, it should be interesting conversation because, well, you'll see why I think it should be interesting conversation. But definitely make sure hit the live. I mean, it is live. Hit the share is what I was trying to say. Share to some groups. Share to some places. Share to some friends. Put in their inbox. Say, hey, you need to watch this. It should be an interesting conversation. Definitely should be an interesting conversation. Thank you again for watching. It's been a while since we've been on. And it's we would do that. We would do that. It's been a while since we've been on like this. And I got you. I'm gonna send it to your inbox, and I'll hit you up when we start to tell people to come on, cause I don't want you sitting in there waiting. But I'm gonna send it to your inbox. Dr. James, give me a second. All right, hold on one second. There we go. Just so where you saw it, where you saw us, where you watch it from, go to the bottom, hit share, and then that should share the link. That should do it for you. So go in there, do that. Hit share us, and the numbers are going up. So I appreciate people that are watching and on live with us. Hit the live. Make sure you hit the share. I'm still waiting on Mustafa to get in, and we were trying to get it done ahead of time. Kept working on it. Then finally I was like, hey, we got to go live. People are sitting there. I'm getting, and that's sitting out in that boat. Mustafa, you hear me, right? No, don't go on yet. Okay, he's back. Mustafa's backstage, so we good. He gonna hit the share. We live on our pages, so make sure you hit the share. He's still working out some things. Okay, but is your microphone popping? Okay, good. Look at this comment right here, Mustafa. Listen. Listen, if that's required, guess what? Well, listen, I'm gonna say that conversation. But if that's required, he ain't coming. He ain't gonna be on. Oh man, that's what's fun. That was funny. I even got to laugh at that. Hold on, let me grab my glasses. That's why I can't see stuff. Hold on one second. Everybody, hit the share. Make sure y'all share. Hold on.
Nope. Nice. If they require a vaccine card, Mustafa will not be showing up. Yeah, can y'all hear me?
All right, you in?
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I had to go back to the old rig. I couldn't use the new computer. That's. I guess it was like, no, you're not gonna leave me out the loop.
That's what's up. So people, hey, let us know. There. Oh, look at that. Somebody's saying, "Hey, Mustafa, people are glad to see you."
Yeah, I'm alive. I'm alive and unvaccinated.
Did y'all hear that?
By
He said he's
choice.
live and unvaccinated. So, so check it out. Check it out. Watch this. So, part of the reason why we wanted to have this conversation today was because we were having a conversation on yesterday, and part of the conversation was vaccination or no vaccination. Tell me how you feel about it, and make sure you put in the comments how you feeling. We said, Mustafa, do you got dreads? What is this?
Yeah.
No, he just, you
You
might as
you
well.
almost got
He
me to
ain't
pull off
shaved.
my hat. Yeah, I ain't shaved, man. I don't even want. It's I told Mike I was trying to do the whole. Let me see how much my hair actually grew. So I was growing my hair back for a while.
Except for this
That
part. This part didn't
yeah.
grow from him.
It came back. Like it came back like George Jefferson kind of, right? And then I
No,
cut down the sides
no.
and then I matched it all up. But it was fine to me. But my wife
You were
laughed
still
at
very
me.
much thinning.
Yeah, like my wife said one day, she said, "Oh, that's what you're trying to do? You still have this going." I was like,
If you lived in
all right,
Augusta,
well,
you could get this part blackened in. All the guys around here
that's
get all this. No, okay.
no,
Well, anyway, check it out.
no, whatever.
So listen, so listen.
I'm good with the balding.
We were talking. So Mustafa was saying, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting coming to America, and I'm getting that." And I was just like, "Oh, okay, that's what's up. Make sure you have your vaccination card." And his response was,
Well, it was funny because I've been watching the news and everything, and we're gonna update you guys, because this program was started around the COVID situation. You know how me and Mike were having conversations that we needed to share with everybody. So, and I was like, yeah, bro, yeah, I should be back, late fall, probably after November, after I have a big tournament here, and then Thanksgiving. I'm trying to decide whether I'm gonna have it here or there. And he was like, well, you better get your vaccination. And I was like, bro, uh-uh. And then we started talking. Then I said, stop. Let's not even have the conversation. Let's have this conversation tomorrow in front of an audience so we can actually see what other people's feelings are and how things are actually going. Because I don't know what's going on in the United States as far as COVID fully, because I stopped looking because, they say if you keep on looking at bad news, you start to feel bad. So I got tired of hearing all the bad news. And as you guys know, if you guys have followed the program, our network, America is like, shoot, 7, 8 months, I think, behind Italy as far as how they were handling the COVID situation. So we've already done certain things. So I was wondering what they were doing over there.
"So, watch this, Mustafa. You are not coming home because you're not vaccinated."
Now, let me ask you, is that going to be mandated? Whereas you cannot, the reason why I say that is because I thought there was a lot of different issues about travel based upon what I was reading on the surface level, right? But I have a lot of people who are business partners and friends here who are going to California, who are coming back and forth, going to New York and everything. And I was like, this is before the shot was even available. And I was like, well, dang, if they're leaving, like, I guess, what am I holding up? I haven't seen my kids since this stuff began. So I'm
So,
like, okay,
truly, with that being the case, you can travel. You can travel without being vaccinated to some places, and from some places to America. Now, I tell people all the time, make sure you know before you travel. We had an incident. Some people don't know this. I refer to it as moonlighting. I moonlight at Delta Airlines. So, my wife makes sure I get up one day a week and go in and work at Delta, and she does that so she can make sure she can travel anywhere she wants to go, right?
that's funny.
Okay, so anyway,
Get
so I
up,
get
go to
up,
work, Mike.
go right there, hey, baby, hey. I'd be like, huh? She like, you gotta go to work. I'm like, come on, it's 3:30. She's like, yeah, go. So anyway, so check it out. We have people who come in all the time, and you have people who are anti-vaxxers and who are vaccinated. And so recently, we had an incident where a couple came in, they were getting ready to travel, and from the time they decided to book their trip to the time they were getting ready to leave, where they were traveling to, it was another country, changed what they were doing in reference to vaccinations. And you had to be vaccinated in order to enter if you were coming from America. So
Coming from America?
Coming from America, you had to be vaccinated in order to enter. So
Dirty Americans?
they were upset. They were like, no, we bought da da da. And I was just like, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. However, we can't tell you what this country says. This is what the country has put in place. So if you're not vaccinated, it's like, well, we even took our COVID test. We didn't even want to do that. And I was just like, got you. And it's like, well, we're going to scratch that off our list of places to go, and we're going to scratch your airline from ever flying again. And I was like, well, I'm very sorry. We had nothing. Oh, you can't hear me? Can you hear me pretty good?
I can hear you.
My volume's low. Huh? Can y'all hear
I
me?
can hear you.
Okay, check it out.
Casey, your volume just sucks.
That's probably what it is. But
yeah,
so,
what you gonna do? Let me stop.
So it says, oh, hold on. Check one. Okay, that's better. Okay.
Yeah, well, you are far from the mic, so that's the difference.
That might be it. Okay, so let me move it in. There we go. How about that? Is that better? Great. Okay,
let me share. Shoot, I ain't shared the broadcast. I'm tripping.
How about now? Am I better now, everybody?
Of course,
pretty good now.
You sound excellent.
Thank you. All right, so check it out. So they were like very upset. That they couldn't, and they were like mad at me, and they were saying, they were like, well, we're never gonna fly, da da da. And I was like, ma'am, I'm sorry, it's not me. It's what this country is saying has to be the case now, and what you're seeing in some places, which I have to admit, I'm okay with. Like even in some of the places in America, if you don't have a vaccination card, you can't even go inside and eat. You can't go to these places, and that's what we're going to here. And in some place, I mean, some of these companies are not allowing you to come work there anymore unless you're vaccinated, or you have to make. Some places have say if you're not going to be vaccinated, you have to take a vaccine, a COVID test once a week. Delta Airlines is charging their employees. Did you see that online? Delta is doing
again. I told you.
$200 a month if you're not vaccinated. You got to pay the airline. Yes.
Okay. Well, check this out. Let me ask. Well, this is what they're doing over here. They've instituted something called the Green Pass, right? And the Green Pass is basically, it shows your vaccination history with COVID. And what the Green Pass has done is basically Italy has made it a law mandate. I'm not sure if it's law, but it's mandated that if you're going to go inside to eat somewhere, every restaurant you have to have the Green Pass, right?
Wow.
Have to. But the Green Pass doesn't say that you are okay. The Green Pass shows your history of either getting it. Okay, you have to either show your Green Pass or proof that you have been tested and you're negative. Now the tests range from anywhere from $25 to $50. And so if, like, let's say me and my wife want to go out for dinner, and she's been vaccinated, she's had both her tests. I mean, she's had both her shots. That if we were to go, I have to basically get tested, have the proof of my negative test, and then we can go inside the restaurant. And that's how it goes for any place that requires a Green Pass. So you don't absolutely have to be vaccinated, but you have to show proof that you're negative or you're vaccinated, which that goes for restaurants, gyms, I believe, and museums. And since Italy is obviously huge for tourism and has museums on every corner, that's the way it works. But again, example, this weekend, we were, we're still on, my wife is on holiday, right? So, which means she's off work until I think she has to go back tomorrow. So we were off on the seaside chilling, right? So we went to a restaurant, and what's happened to me, well, we'll get to that conversation in a moment. When we were sitting there, we had to eat outside, right? Now, to me, that doesn't cause me any problems because that's how we've been living for the last year and a half anyway. Most restaurants have changed the way they've been doing business to have eating areas outside. So if you go to a restaurant now, they've usually, if they have parking spots, let's say it's not a curbside restaurant, let's say you're downtown Augusta, for example, and you go to Humanitary, right? What Humanity would have done if they were in Italy is take those, let's say those 3 parking spots that are in front of their building
Got
and
you.
turn those into outside seating, and they put outside seating outside the restaurant. And that's how they've been operating since they've been able to open back up. So in most restaurants, everything is still outside anyway. Plus, it's summer.
But see, this is a big difference. That could never happen in Georgia because you can't sit outside between 11 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock in the afternoon for sure because it's too hot. You just can't. You're not gonna be able to do it. You know.
I mean, there's ways, but people aren't doing that. I am assuming. I'm not there. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they did some of that outside stuff in certain places. Like I saw,
like with awnings, you can you can put an awning outside, and
I saw Seattle do it where they had the spaces out front, and so they had certain streets totally blocked off because they turned the whole streets into like the seating area for restaurants, and like in the downtown areas and stuff. And I thought it was pretty cool. But you know, here, let's just talk about Augusta. It can't. It's just not going. It's
not set up like that. That's not how the civil.
And it's too hot. I mean, I don't want to sit outside right now, and I just think it's bad. But back to the initial thing though, and people that are watching, let us know. Do y'all support vaccinations or against vaccinations? And Mustafa,
that's what the topic is.
But we're trying to give a little background into reference to why some of this
why we're even having this conversation.
Why we were talking about it. But I mean, but definitely put your thoughts in there. Put how you feel about the vaccination. I think people should be vaccinated. Bottom line, you need to get people been vaccinated. We've been getting vaccinated all these years. 400 years. People, oh no, it's in the vaccination. You don't know it's in a hot dog, but you eat them. It's like,
but this is where I'm gonna chime in. It is very important, but I am of the school of I've never been vaccinated. The only time I've got vaccinations in my life is when I went into the military. That is the only time because I had a vaccination. But I'm talking about from 1 year old, from birth to 18. I never got booster shots. I never got a but I'm saying that is because of my religion.
Right.
That is because of my personal, like my family culture. So it wasn't as though I'm against the COVID vaccination or I'm against the science behind vaccination. It's just that I don't get vaccinations for a number of reasons. Even I can't argue. To me, there's no point of anyone arguing the science behind vaccinations because it makes sense. And then there is an other side where there are side effects. So if somebody has died from a vaccination, okay, I can understand your argument. You could be that 1 in a million. So I can understand that. But then vaccinations have cured and protected millions of people as well.
And that's the thing that gets me, because people want to sit here and say, oh, I know such and such got the vaccination, they died. And we had a conversation online about this the other day, and I was just like, you forgot to mention the fact that they died the 2 days after they got their second shot, or 4 days after they got the second shot when they probably shouldn't have got it because they were probably already had COVID. And it's like, it's so many things that you have to add into that argument, because people want to just say this or just say that. Oh, vaccines kill people. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, how do you continue to say that vaccines kill, but we have no understanding of how that happened? Somebody said my mic's low again. Is it? I wonder if I'm talking. Are you hearing me through my microphone, Moo, or through my?
I got my earphones on, so you sound pretty decent to me. But again, I don't really know. But again, as you're doing that, like you sound weird now. I can hear you, but you know.
What about now? Bad.
Sorry, I'm sorry. That's how my son says he don't like something. Leo, do you want this?
Is that still bad?
It sounds like you're in the hallway.
Hold on 1 second. What about now?
I think you sounded better before.
What about now?
Still sound.
What about now?
That's the mic right there. It sounds good.
That's good. Okay. Maybe, you know, my auntie, she said something about she couldn't hear me, but you know, she's old, so it's probably her just being old more than anything. So, okay.
And then again, right. like I was mentioning. Hold on, my bad, y'all. That's the Matrix.
Gotcha.
I was going to say, like, I was going to, say something to Mike. I was like, it's interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom vaccinated, my grandmother vaccinated, which has got a funny story about that. My sister vaccinated. Um, and my father vaccinated. Now, all of these people don't f with or don't mess with vaccinations.
Mm-hmm.
Grandmother, obviously, she's in the high risk group because she's almost 90. My mother, because she's around my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? Because she, looks out for my grandma. She don't take care of grandma. My father, my father has a liver condition that he's been living with, but because he's been living Muslim lifestyle his whole life, you wouldn't be able to tell unless you knew his medical things. But because of his medical insurance, again, they said, hey,
Right.
if you want us to keep help you paying for these thousands of dollars of medication, we are mandating that you have to get this or we're dropping you. So it was either pay $2,000, a month for my medication, or take the shot. Now, personally, for me, I've been debating it within my own mind whether or won't I will ever get the shot. Now, for me, it's still up in the air because for me, it's not about getting enough information because Mike, just like you said, we eat hot dogs and you don't know what's in it. So it's the fact of the matter is I'm going to be one of those ones that I'll take every single restriction that's applied against me for not having the shot and I'll wait it out and I'll see what happens. That's just how I feel. If it's 2 years, 3 years, I'm waiting it out just to see what happens because I just, for some reason, when something don't rub you right, it don't rub you right. And I think it should be everybody's personal decision whether they get it or not. And I don't think that any government agency should make it a practice to make it mandatory for you to get that. And I'm going to say this last point because I don't understand why all of a sudden, and this may sound, and again, it's an argument against what I'm saying, but the point is, there's so many things that kill us, not saying what we can get sick of, but there's so many harmful things to human beings that the government allows to happen that happen every single day in our food, the carcinogens that are in like you said, in our lunch meat, things that actually kill us, cause cancer every day, number of things. And they let that go. But this is the first time, not first time, because that's not true.
Not the first time.
That exactly. That for me, it's interesting that they're giving so many incentives to try to convince people to get it. And when you look at the greater population of the world who are vaccinated and who aren't vaccinated, there are still more unvaccinated people than those that aren't vaccinated. Right. And healthy people than there are people who actually have COVID. The percentage is less than 1% of the world's population.
But I feel that the reason why people are still getting this is because they're not vaccinated and they're the ones who are spreading it. And I'm saying that to say, I know that vaccinated people can catch COVID. I know that vaccinated people can have issues with COVID. However, the science is proving that they are recovering in a sense better when you had the vaccination. And if I have to use that as the reason why I would do it, that would be my reason. I mean, we have people who are sitting here frowning on the fact that they're saying, oh, it just got found, and how all of a sudden when it took them 30 years to find a vaccination for smallpox, and it took them 25. Yeah, but they also didn't have computers. They also didn't have other things that.
I didn't hear that argument before. That was a good argument, Mike.
Move those things forward. It takes. We're in a different day and age where we know how to make things and know how to do things. And I'm not. I understand, and I understand people's rights, and people say, oh, well, you have the right to choose. You absolutely do. But I also believe that if you choose not to, then if the government puts in place sanctions in reference to what cannot happen because you don't have this, then you have to live with those sanctions. If you don't have a driver's license, you can't drive.
You can't drive.
It's right. So we have to
legally
consider these same types of things, and it's part of it. People get mad. Oh, the government should be able to put things, and it's crazy to me. Sometimes I hear people that's arguing about I ain't gonna have no vaccination card. You shouldn't have to have a vaccination card to go in places, but you want the same people to have. You want people to have driver's license to go vote. It's like you the same people who are making that argument about how it's infringing on their rights for this are the same ones who make an argument about how a license don't infringe on your rights. It's like, it's you can't have it both ways, and that's the issue I have with a lot of the arguments. It has nothing to do, Mustafa, truly, with whether you go and get vaccinated or don't get vaccinated. I think people should. That's that. But it's when people want to have these arguments about, oh, it infringes on this, or you can't have that, and you can't do this. I can remember when there was a time where, before people were so woke, and they were at a place of wanting to, no, we're not going to do the vaccination thing, or I'm not going to get my child vaccinated type of thing. It was very few people who were not vaccinated when we were kids coming up. It was you and two other people. You know what I'm saying? It was like, that's all
there
it
was
was.
a few.
It
was a
wasn't
few.
a lot.
Yeah, and see,
did it.
and see, and like you're saying,
it was something that the parents did because it was something that you were trying to help your child get away from and keep it.
And I was one of those kids who it's just been like that since I've been even I've been this way with my children. I've been this way with my, trying to prevent my children from getting vaccinated. We had to figure out exactly, what waivers we had to file and get so they could go to school. And we did that. Like Kiera, Ja, and Issa, they got their little, it's like, when you're in a marriage and a family, it's a give and take thing. So it's okay, I'll let them get this, but they're not getting the rest of them. You get what I'm saying? Or we'll we make sure that we pick, okay, this one, but not that one. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those situations where it's like, I get it. I get it. But there's no but. I understand the pro argument. But again, you do have a lot of woke people nowadays who are just having this weird argument just because they just got conscious of things, and they're chiming into an argument that they have or a conversation that they shouldn't even be included in, because you don't know what the heck you're talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about, but you're so woke, but you walk around with an iPhone and on Facebook. You can't be both, and it's
we going back there.
Yeah, you have to, and you have to have that argument with those people because it's like they know so much but don't know anything at all, and I don't have an issue. Like I said, if you just say, I'd rather people just be like, I ain't getting the vaccine because I ain't getting the vaccine.
Boom. That's easy. I heard somebody else say that. It was like, the best argument is, I don't want to get it.
I don't want to do it.
Cool. No problem.
Hey, homie, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? I'm not going to play in traffic because I don't want to get hit by a car. I fully understand why you doing what you do. That's what you decided not to do. You know what I'm saying?
Again,
but
and let me reiterate,
these woke arguments about, I just won't travel to this place. Let me tell you this.
Then you can't travel.
I thought that you couldn't go somewhere because you want back. Well, don't get me wrong. She's already going to do it. But it's like, hey, let me tell you this. Let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get these vaccinations. And it's time to get these boosters about to happen. And I honestly, and I got to be for real, I don't want anyone in the airplane with me who's not vaccinated. That's how I feel about it. But guess what? I also don't like to sit next to somebody with a dog either on the airplane. I don't
like to have dogs in the restaurants.
I don't.
And over here they do that stuff.
Now, let me say this. I'm talking about regular animals. Now, I ain't talking about service animals. I'm not talking about that. Service animals, I understand people need them. So that's never my argument. I understand that. But it's not something that I like. You know what I'm saying? And I understand these things. And I can make that choice to say, I don't want to sit here. And I have done it before. I have literally not got on the plane because I was going to sit next to someone who was traveling with an animal. You know what I'm saying? And I had that right. I had that choice. You understand what I'm saying? And guess what? You have a choice not to get vaccinated, and then you can be one of the people that can't leave your house after a while because they're gonna have them little monitors on people, and you're gonna say, no, you're too far away from your home. Please go back.
And see, and that's what I mean. That again for me. Let's just, at a certain point, I'm gonna go straight devil's advocate. Well, not devil's advocate, but I'm gonna play the complete right side of this argument. I'm being nice, but I'm just saying at this point, let's just say, I don't like that type of talk. And for me, that's weird. That type of talk shouldn't even be talked about. And this is why for me over here, I'm speaking about Italy, I can say, okay, cool. They're saying, okay, boom, you can't do this, you can't do that, but at least show us proof that you're not infected. Show us a negative test. Cool. To me, that seems perfectly okay. They're not so far restricting anything. They say you can't do this, you can't do that, but at least show us you're negative. And then you can make all the money you want off of me testing until I get tired of testing. Because to me, it's a moot argument that people just are not going to get vaccinated. I mean, and more people are not going to get vaccinated than are going to get vaccinated. To me, that has some statement that is truthful, and this will pass eventually.
Well, and I think we will get to a place of it passing, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon based on what the numbers look like. And we're going to have to suffer because people are not going to get vaccinated, and it's going to continue to spread, and it's going to get worse and worse. I just feel that.
Do you think so?
Yes.
Do you think it's going to get worse than it already has been worse? Like at the peak of this epidemic. You
understand, we are back peak wise in America numbers, and I want you to understand this. It is. I can bring up charts and talk about what hospitals look like because people are going back in as far as having COVID and getting tested. See, people were under the impression that it was over because the COVID numbers were dropping. They would say, "Oh, the COVID numbers are dropping, and we don't have to worry about COVID. COVID numbers are dropping." It wasn't that COVID numbers were dropping. It was just that people weren't going to get tested. There's a difference. You can't have numbers if nobody's there to produce the numbers. That was the issue. It wasn't that we were lower or we were not where we were going. People say, "Oh, we were down." No, I think we were kind of where we were, or we were kind of still at the numbers. It was just that no one was getting tested. Kind of how it was at the beginning where everybody was going to get tested. You had people that were getting tested every day of the week. Going somewhere every day to get tested.
Man, my wife is such
but listen, but now
she got tested 3 times in 1 week because she just was concerned and she already had the vaccination.
Right.
I was like, bro, calm down. But again, I'm trying to change the color of my light. There you go. Sorry, y'all. I got it like that. I like to, switch up stuff every once in a while. I ain't been on live, so my light.
Yeah, we ain't been here. But go ahead. Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, but point being, man, it's just again, it's just I don't think I'm ever going to get the vaccination. And I don't want to say never because never, who knows? But I know at this current time, I'm not planning to. I'm worried about, I am honestly, to be honest, I'm worried about the mRNA factor of the vaccination. I don't like how it does anything with your DNA. I don't like that. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't trust the medical it's not I don't trust I don't trust the science. Okay, put it this way. I don't trust the fact that companies that are for profit are creating a vaccine that I'm going to put in my body. Companies that are for-profit companies that are not even fully pharmaceutical companies.
And people, we put information on news and they're for profit. We buy tennis shoes and it's for profit.
Dude, of course. But I've always been one of those people who's always questioned. I've always been that way.
If you feel that way about a vaccine, or you feel that way about, and this is what I tell
people. I don't take Tylenol, bro.
Something similar the other day. That's like, well, I'm just going to trust in God. I say, well, stop taking your insulin.
God taught us to be smart. So I think I'm using my facilities to be intelligent.
Listen, let me tell you this. I trust God, and believe me, when it's your time, it's your time. But God puts things in place. You have to have faith, but faith without actions is dead. So you got to have something to go with it. Yeah. I believe that God will do everything He says He's going to do, and I believe that He helps scientists and doctors come up with these things. At the same time, it's no different than the car that I got sitting underneath my carport outside. If it's not working, I'm not going to let it sit there and just say, "Oh, I'm going to have faith that it's going to start working again." No, that's not how it works. You got to take it to a mechanic. You understand what I'm saying? So I mean, there's a level of we have to make sure that things are still working a certain type of way. But back to my point real quick. I'm gonna show you this real quick about numbers and show you why I was making a comment about things being different depending on where you are. So look at this for a second. If
I don't use Tylenol, Shabbat. That's what I was just saying, bro. I don't even take Tylenol. I don't take none of that. Like, I don't do none of that.
So this is part of our issue. This is why numbers are where they are, and why things continue to go up. Look at hospitals. These are hospitals in Augusta. Look how busy they are in reference to ERs and being inside the hospital. That's because people need to be vaccinated. People need to be vaccinated. People need to get to a place of doing what's right, and I think that vaccinations are that.
I don't think, again, I'm not against the vaccinations for you. You, my brother, you're vaccinated. Your wife vaccinated. My mom, like I said, my wife's mother, my wife's sister, all vaccinated. I have no problem what anybody does with your own body, and I think the pro-choice should still be pro-choice. Not just to do with with everything. I just feel that the government should not create situations that makes it whereas a person has to. And I think that is a slippery slope to go down. But I do understand everything, because you guys remember from the beginning, I was preaching from the top of the hill, the virus is real.
Right. Yes.
I was screaming, this virus
so you don't
is
think,
real.
so,
But hold
so
on. Let me finish my point.
To this one thing that the government should not be able to mandate.
No. I think the government shouldn't be able to mandate anything that has anything to do with someone's personal body. If I can get in trouble for calling somebody, and I'm not calling anybody this word.
No, don't say the word. I hope I blinked it out when you're trying to say it. Don't say the word. But remember, I am still on.
Well, okay. Let me use it a better word. If I can't call somebody a midget. Oh, okay. I'm saying midget. Don't say, you know what I'm saying? But these words, but you hear what I'm saying? Like, those words are like, oh my God, you can't say them. So you shouldn't be able to tell me that I have to put something in my body. If I can't say the word,
you have to wear
and call somebody a tiny person.
Or you get in trouble. You have to do these things. I mean, there are things, and so there's a point says numbers can be skewed. You're right, but guess what? Somebody made a comment to me the other day online, and they were talking. I was making a comment about how the numbers were looking, and it was just like, the numbers are not that, these are the numbers. I'm like, how do you get to determine which numbers are okay? So you're okay with these numbers in reference to how many people have died from COVID who got the vaccine, but you're not okay with people that have died from COVID who didn't have the vaccine. I'm like, devil's advocate.
I don't believe in none of those numbers.
Which number is
I
okay?
argue over statistics all the time. Because statistics, that's, from the analytical sense, can be skewed just to suit anybody's purpose. I had this argument 7 months ago. Statistics are used for many different reasons. Now, when you do mathematical equations that are exact sciences, that's something different. But there's always a ratio when you look at a statistic. So it's like, to me, it's dumb. Like, the whole science of it can predict probability, but it cannot predict fact. You get what I'm saying? And those probable outcomes are all based upon the input that's about the information that's inputted to create that statistic. So again, just like we all know that we look at what happened with the COVID deaths, they were saying that, hey, people are dying from COVID.
The numbers can be skewed anyway, but we still go buy the car. We still like the cell phone. You looked at numbers before you bought the monitors.
Some people
look at numbers.
But the point is, just like, but again, you this is why we have a good conversation, because people say, I'll take a L on certain categories of my life. Me and my wife had this same conversation, basic conversation about just the choice of occupation. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we had a brief conversation. She was like, well, you don't understand because you don't have to work. And I was like, the point was I chose not to work a traditional job because I don't want to deal with those people who act those way. I don't want to deal with office politics. I don't want to deal with a manager, a boss, somebody who tells me when I can pee. Somebody tells me when I can have my days off. I don't want to deal with that. But what happens is I have to work harder. I have to work smarter. I have to invest in myself. It's certain benefits and losses and balances that come with certain sacrifices. So I am one of those ones who say, you know what? If if I can't go inside the restaurant, well, I guess I'll eat outside. Well, you can't eat outside. I guess I'll eat at home. No problem. That's just how I am. Now, if you're a person who can't take those restrictions, then that's your issue that you got to personally deal with. You get what I'm saying? But when it comes to the point where, like, I can understand, like, when the government says if you have a federal job, you have to get vaccinated. I saw that recently, right? Or something,
Right.
or one of those, they said, well, I'm losing my job. Well, you have a federal job. So that's their rules. You can't work there then, bro. Don't cry about that part. You get what I'm saying? But when the government says,
I'm 100% with you, then.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that's, I can get that part. If your company, if it was Foot Locker, said, well, hey, you can't work here if you're not vaccinated. But for me, what bothers me is the government saying, I'm going to give Foot Locker an incentive for only hiring vaccinated people. You get what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's kind of trying to overstep the boundaries because you're opening a Pandora's box when you can say, okay, well, we want you to, well, it's such a slippery slope because that's just like, that's affirmative action.
But guess what? So somebody else made that same comment, but watch this. What is the difference in them giving an incentive for that and them or a government giving an incentive for a company that wants to move into an area based on the fact of them providing jobs? So I mean,
cool. It's not your personal body.
But guess what?
This is your body. That's the difference. That's what I'm saying. You can do whatever around me, but when you start telling me, like my body, it's okay. We're saying that all comes to pro-choice again. That's just like saying, we won't hire a woman who's pregnant. That's a no-no, right? Because you have to have equal opportunity employment. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like if we can't discriminate over race, age, gender, right? Because that's your personal body.
Listen, let me say this. I think that I'm okay with that. And Greg, tell me what you're referring to. He said I had a contradiction. Tell me what you mean. Just tell me what you mean by that, because I got the aqua shirt on. I thought you might be talking about you. I was trying to figure. I think I was on the same point the whole time. I didn't. Maybe I'm not. I think it's important that, and let me say this. I'm definitely okay with understanding. You can't even use that as an example. Tell me what you mean. You can't use that example. Talking about the government giving people incentives. It's one and the same. If it's you're saying because it's a shot compared to somebody moving into a county and they might do a tax abatement or something? No, I just can't. It's a job. A company is doing things that is the government is doing something to incentivize something for that company. I understand you want to compare it to a shot or compare it to a job, but it's an incentive. I just can't.
The incentives can be cool, but it shouldn't be because of something that has to do with we can use the pro-choice argument. Anything to do with your body is a no-no. You get what I'm saying? And that's where I think that it's, like I said, is opening up a Pandora's box or treading a thin line, because again, now you're starting to discriminate. That is discrimination. It's like, well, you're not vaccinated, so therefore you can't do that. That's not okay.
So let me ask you this, because I wonder if Greg is one of those pro-choice people. And I say that to say, well, you get to decide. The government shouldn't decide what you do. But a lot of times, what you end up seeing? You end up seeing where the people who are saying the government should not be able to tell me what to do are the same people who are pro-life, in reference to saying that the government should be able to tell people they can't get an abortion. And that's what you end up seeing a lot of. So, I mean,
and for me, they shouldn't be able to say that either. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you cannot tell a woman that they can't get an abortion. That's a no-no.
But let me say this. But at this, a lot of the people who are making this argument on that side of it are the ones who are making that other argument, saying that the government should not be able to tell you to get a vaccine.
And this is why I said certain people shouldn't be allowed to be in the conversation. You get what I'm saying? Like, they shouldn't be able to sit down at the table. You go sit in the rafters, because you're messing up it for everybody else. You get what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you got to stick to one side of the art. Like you can't be, double dutching. You feel me? It's like you can't do that. You can't tell a woman they can't get an abortion. You can't tell, all that other stuff. And then I've been listening to this gentleman who I won't give him any shine because he's really controversial. It's a white guy, but he's kind of against, well, he's not against the transgender stuff and all the other type of things, but he's against mandating the fact that I have to call you by your he, she, their, them. You feel me? He's saying I have no problem with the fact that this man wants to be a woman, and this person personally wants me to tell them to call me, speak to me as, call me a her instead of a him, right? But when the government says you have to call him that, he's against it. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you have to really.
Okay, I got you. That's what you're saying. But look, watch this though. Watch this, Mustafa. That is so real. It hits close to home with me because there is I hate to say a company I deal, but there's a company that I deal with that they are currently going through this issue because they have a person there that is what is the, and I'm not please forgive my ignorance. It's not me in trying to be derogatory of any kind, but the person is going through a transition, and because they're going through a transition, they want to be called one name. Their name tag says something different, and they get upset when someone says ma'am or sir. It's like they don't want either one of them. And it's like, well, how do you? And then I'm talking about like to the point to where they want to file a complaint on someone because the person said, "I'm sorry, I just don't know what to say," and it was a heated battle, based on the fact that they literally had no clue what to say, and it's not, and let me be very clear, it's not anywhere that I am employed. This is a company that I do some things for, so it's somewhere that I have a contract with, and like. It was brought up because it was such a battle, and when we were talking about it, it's like how do you go through this? But then they're like, well, the company makes you say this, but
That's
so
a
you're
no-no.
okay with the company making you say something?
No, is that like I'm not cool with the company telling me that, hey, I have to. But I would not if old boy wanted me to call him a female. I would address him by any pronoun that he wants me to call him by. You get what I'm saying? I wouldn't be like, because I have family members who are this or that. That sounds so bad. Them or they. So I would respond to them as they want to be responded to. You know what I'm saying? But to make a law that says I have to call you that is kind of crazy. That's just like, a white person, transitioning to be a black person. Like that woman who did that stuff about 10 years ago. And everybody laughed at her in her face. Like, chick, you're white. But I want to be addressed to her as a black person. Like, no, you're white. I'm not going to call you black if you're white. They know what I identify with being a black person. No. So, you know what I mean? But just staying back on in the, it's that type of stuff is crazy. But again, I really am interested. Like, I'm reading the comments. And brother Christopher James wanted to chime in also.
Let me pause for a commercial. I'm trying to get and said diversify. Feel free to chime in. Did you shoot them the link? I can shoot them the link.
No, because
he probably don't even need us to shoot him the link. He probably could just get in. Hey, diversify. You can jump in.
He just be like, just move the screen to the right and left.
Listen, let me stop for a commercial real quick. If you have not picked up this wonderful book, please do so. Go to booksbymonica.com. This is my wife's book. It's excellent. It's a book of prayers. Wonderful publishing company as well, but don't worry, we'll talk about that later. But wonderful book. If you have not gotten this book, pick it up. You can get it at hold on, I got the link up there somewhere. Hold on a second. Let me make sure I do this commercial right. Hold on. I got the link somewhere. Hold on a second. Hold on. Make sure you pick it up, and there we go.
Booksbymonica.com.
International bestseller. Excellent book. Make sure you pick it up.
How much is the book, Mike?
Just shoot us a message. We can get you the information.
What's the cost on the book, Mike?
It is $20.
Only $20
Only,
for a book of
only
prayers by
$20.
Monica
That's right.
Myers.
It says Whispers of an
The,
Intercessor. When I close my
the
eyes,
Monica, when she closes her eyes.
when I close, yes, it's. I
Mm.
listen. Great book.
Mm.
Don't start. Don't start. I was trying to be
Mm.
serious. It's an excellent book. Go to her web. Listen. Go to her website, ladymonica.org. You can find information there. You can read her daily blogs. Order the book. You see where it's right here next to me. That's where it belongs. So listen, what did I send it to him? I know I sent it to Chris James. If you
Sherry Thomas, she said something really, really interesting, and again, I'm going to comment on it because I saw the comment on the stream and not on the back office. She says even if it affects your financial well-being and the ability to or keep your health benefits, to each his own. To me, one thing that we have to realize, and that this situation should have taught us all, and I learned this when I was 24 years old, that you cannot depend on anyone else for your financial well-being or the ability to keep your health in a state where you don't need to go to the doctor, or you limit the amounts that you have to go to the doctor. Now, I know we are all born with a predetermined genetic code that some of us are just more prone to getting sick. Some of us are more prone to being obese. Some of us are even more prone to being in a financial situation where that you can't change it as easy. But we all have the ability to increase our financial well-being personally, or keep your health in check. Maybe you, a person in most situations, you need, like me, my diet has changed. I got more money in the bank account now. Why? Because I learned that over the last year and a half that something can change where you could be boop in a snap of a finger and
now
you're messed up. You can lose your job.
let me. I want to make sure we say this part too, and this is not a frown at anybody or me making a snap at somebody else, but COVID was good to me, and business wise, I must admit it was something that opened up a lot of doors. So and it's continuing to open doors, but we're continuing to make sure we do things to make the make the community stronger. I think that vaccinations are very important. I think people should be vaccinated. That's why we do vaccination clinics right here where we live. So
I have one of my best friends. He, Sean Powers. He does testing and vaccinations.
yeah. I mean, so we definitely want people to do whatever. And say this, I think vaccinations are important, but I want you to do whatever you feel is the best thing to do. I know people say, "Oh, you're talking out both." No. I can, and this is an argument I had.
I'm talking out one end. He's talking out the other end.
Right. And people say, "Oh, you talking about both sides." No. Understand. Just like I think that I can feel a certain way about something and still think that what somebody else said is okay. Vaccinations are important. I think vaccinations save lives. It's up to you to decide what you want to do. However, how I feel about it is I think vaccinations save lives. Oh Lord, hold on, man. Here we go. Mustafa, you see your boy down there?
I heard the doop.
You heard the dude? Okay, hold on. Let me add it to the stream. I'm sure he got. Look, first he gonna try to clown because it's been so long since we've been on. So he gonna try to do that first, and then he gonna talk about this stuff that we talking about. So I'm gonna bring him on because we ain't gonna be on much longer. But listen, you ain't got but 37 seconds on here with us. Look, he pulled a stopwatch out so he can make sure he got enough time. What's up, brother?
My brothers, man. What's good, man?
I'm tired of everybody, having hair, and I don't have hair, man.
Hair?
Well, just a little bit of hair triggers me. All right, just let me be. Let me be triggered.
Man. You still got baby hair, man. That's all, Mufasa.
How you feel about these vaccinations there, Bishop James? Talk to us about it.
Hey man, listen. I know my job, man. We have to have vaccines. I me personally, I don't see anything wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, people in my job are getting ticked off, man. They're like, well, if we don't have vaccines, then I gotta get tested every week, yada, yada, yada. People getting upset. But like I said, I don't think it's fair that we should get penalized or punished either, that because people aren't vaccinated, we got to continue to wear masks in our courthouses across the state. No ifs and buts about it. So
I
I
still
don't
wear
think
my
that's
mask.
fair. Yeah, I don't think that's fair either. But it's the rules. It's the rules, and you have to just follow the rules or find another job. But I don't think they're telling us in the trial court that if you don't have a mask, then what I'm saying, we're forcing it. The email never came out saying they're forcing anything. They never said that. So people just don't like the idea to be told what to do. I think that's the issue at hand. So what. I think I'm all for vaccine. I got my vaccine, my wife, my kids. And like Foster was saying, if that's your own personal religious belief, that's a whole different story, man. Can't force that. However, if you don't have a religious belief, like my daughter's going to college in a few days, she has to be vaccinated. If she can't, then we just out of money, So you just got to just look at it and educate yourselves, man. You have to educate yourself. We've seen on social media, folks. Please do your own research, because people talking about they put poison in our skin, poison in our body. We're gonna die. This, that. I'm like, what in the world are these people talking about, man? It's unbelievable, man. Do your own research, man. Huh?
You good?
I think we're done. Like,
you good.
There's something that I read recently that said we're past the research stage. You know what I'm saying? Just like Mike said, we're past the research stage. If you don't want to get vaccinated, do not be on the plane with Mike. You get what I'm saying? That's
For real.
That's how it is. And for me, it's like, I'm the type of person that, like, when I come back, I ain't gonna be vaccinated, but obviously I will have to be tested. And when I'm around certain people,
what if it's required? What if it's ever required to come back to America, Mustafa?
Then
do at that point?
If it's ever required, then y'all won't be seeing me. Y'all won't be seeing me. That's just how it is for a while. I am in a privileged place. You know what I'm saying? To a certain degree, I'm privileged. I am privileged enough to say I ain't gonna get it. I can still work from my computer. I'll fly my kids over here. I don't give a damn. It's like, that's just what it is. Like, it's just something of, I don't know. Like, bro, if I actually felt comfortable with getting vaccinated, I would, but I just don't. But that's what I'm saying. I ain't got a flu shot. I ain't got chicken pox. I ain't got no virus. I don't got none of that stuff. And I have a very weird, but again, I'm privileged. I have a very weird immune system. My body produces way more, white blood cells than
I understand
don't
that.
Get sick. I don't get, but again, I can be a carrier, right?
Miss Banks,
and I can pass it on.
Miss Banks, he said, listen, you said road trips. Ain't no road trip from Italy. He ain't taking no road trip.
I take road trips, but it's like I can go to different countries. For me, I can drive anywhere outside the U.S. I could even drive my black butt to Africa. You know what I'm saying? If I can literally drive to Africa.
Well, I'm saying this. You're only gonna be able to drive so far, because some places ain't gonna let you in without.
Ain't gonna let you in, homeboy. They sure ain't.
Look, let me tell you, we went to. Like a couple weeks ago, I went up to the mountains. I know for those who follow me, you probably saw some pictures I took and stuff like that. And we were like, I was really close to Austria and really close to Germany. And they literally on certain areas had roads cut, patrolled, and like military sitting there checking people's joints. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I was on the street, and for the first time in 3 years, they pulled me over. And they were, asking us questions, stuff like that, which was weird. And I'm like, here, take my license. I ain't gonna get shot here.
Wow.
But that's how I felt. I was like, shoot, look at it. How you doing, cop? How you doing? I ain't feel no pressure from the police. But they pulled me over here. I was like, I'm straight. Shoot. My wife like, why are they pulling us up? Like, I don't care here. I didn't do nothing. How you doing?
Yeah,
but
crazy.
Point being is the fact that, again, if I don't know. I think I don't know. Americans, and I'm an American, so I'm not speaking about America. America's we have a bunch of wussies to a certain degree, because if they mandate it, people they ain't gonna fight back and take over the government. They just
But
gonna.
but on the flip side of that, watch this, Mustafa. On the flip side of that, other countries, you don't hear the whining when the country tells them what they got to go do. It's like
Yeah.
they
Right.
go do
Over
it. The
here.
country says you got to go be
Right.
vaccinated. They
Exactly.
go get vaccinated. America's the only place where people say,
Like
I
Massachusetts.
have rights. I don't have to go
But
do
which
this.
countries are saying that literally you have to be vaccinated? That is
I'm looking. You know, I'm in the middle of looking at
okay.
that right now.
Because
I don't
again,
know.
that's my point. When they say that you have to, that's where I have a problem. If you restrict
Yeah.
my movement because
Well-
of it, no problem. I won't move. You just told me for a year, like somebody else told me, like they took 2020 from us. We didn't have 2020. We couldn't. 2020 was theirs. They said you can't go outside. We couldn't go outside. Okay.
Mm.
Or if you went outside, you can get ticketed or in prison. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
'cause
Yeah,
and
I
I want you
mean-
to understand, because I mean, you there are places that were telling you can't leave the house. 'Cause you were there. You couldn't go nowhere.
Lockdown.
while.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand, because people, I know in Massachusetts, our vaccination rate is 65.7% in Massachusetts. So they don't play around with that stuff here. But my only issue is people are so against this vaccine, but meanwhile, they'll get their kid vaccinated for measles, this, that, and the other. No problem. Comes to the adults.
Those
now-
crazy people.
Come on, man. You can't have it both ways.
Those
man.
people are crazy.
Come on, man. How you?
My son
if
is
you know-
still not vaccinated. He got he got the first one, and he hasn't got the other 4 that he was and
Yeah.
he's perfectly. He hasn't got a snotty nose. You know what's crazy? And it's for real.
That's crazy.
We were looking at this little just I don't want to get in this conversation. That's a different live stream. But we went to look at this little school, right? And we went in there. He was in there for 2 hours. Next week he was sick. I was like, these nasty little dang vaccinated children making my baby sick.
Oh,
These little nasty little kids carrying these viruses around in their blood. Getting my baby sick. He ain't been sick since he was alive. Most babies walk around with a snotty nose, like he ain't never had that. He go in there one day and he come out looking like, got a fever, messing up my baby.
This guy, it's this guy.
I'm joking, y'all.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
I know. I get you.
I'm joking because again, like I said, I went to the military. I had to take them dang shots. I couldn't be saying no. All right, poof, I got them.
Yeah, yep.
And nothing crazy happened to me,
right?
That I know of.
And I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out.
No, that's cool.
They got so many different ways of talking about how it works in reference to vaccinations, but there are I think it just said it's 33 countries that are somewhat highly traveled from the United States that are requiring you to be vaccinated in order to enter.
Wow.
I'm not going to Afghanistan.
I think that's going to be the
bad
wow.
joke.
Real bad.
That's going to be the norm.
I forgot.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm trying to tell
like
folks.
I can't go to London.
Yeah, but Mufasa, you in Rome, bro. I mean, that's like the Vatican's over there, man. They got their own bank over there, bro. That's totally different, man.
They're hurting in Italy, man. Like they're a complete town. Like we went yesterday.
Yeah,
I don't like you guys don't get it. We went to a town the other day, and the town was decimated. You know what I mean? Like the businesses were gone. You get what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like I took a picture. It was like,
wow,
for rent, for sale, for rent, for sale. The whole town.
Yeah, they've lost, and just think about all these other places around here that have lost so much because of vaccinations and everything. And that's somewhere that we were getting ready to head to, and we're gonna get off in a second. That we were getting ready to head to prior to getting COVID. Prior to COVID coming we was gonna head to the Vatican, but it's like, how do you get it? How do you go to these places now and you're able to visit without issue? It just doesn't happen.
No,
so
no, man, it's a bad hit.
Listen. So let's try to finish this not this conversation, or this one or another conversation next week. After church time, I got regular church next week. We go back to regular service next week. So
all right.
Yeah. We've been in church, but we don't normally have church on fifth Sundays. But
Okay.
we got to make sure though, from now on, people can know on fifth Sundays at 11:30. You can catch us here for sure. If you don't catch us all the time, you can catch us on fifth Sundays at 11:30. So
That's not like a choir, choir,
Don't stop. Don't
see,
stop,
right.
Mufasa.
And listen,
anniversary
the
or
thing is, watch this. Watch this.
Don't stop,
Hey,
Mufasa.
hey, watch this. He know that kind of stuff because he grew up in a Baptist church.
Oh yeah,
Right.
he knows.
It seemed like
He grew up-
every
Mustafa
Sunday,
grew up in a Baptist church.
every Sunday, like my
Every
mom
Sunday
says,
he was
well,
in church.
I'm going to go pick up mama because
Right.
it's the church's 235th anniversary. I'm like, then it wasn't just the 235th anniversary last week, or like, well, no,
You ain't right. You
that was
ain't
the
right.
church's anniversary,
right.
but that was adding
You
on the
ain't
new
right.
section's anniversary.
But
You
listen,
ain't right.
listen. Make sure. There's
I
trouble.
want him to read Romans 12, the 13th chapter, 1, 2, and 3. Just read that, Mufasa, and that'll open your whole mind up. Just read that, and that's it.
Romans, you mean those
13.
letters? You mean those letters that Paul
No,
wrote while he was
listen.
in
Y'all
jail?
have a good day. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all share the live. Thank y'all
Romans
for
is what
being
he's
in.
talking
Y'all have
about.
a great day.
All right.